Hi everyone, my name is Ioannis Brilakis and I work for the University of Cambridge. I'm part of the Laing O'Rourke Center for Construction Engineering and Technology. And I also happen to be the academic lead for the Digital Roads of the Future initiative. I'd like to say a few things about that initiative in the time that it's available to me. I think it is an initiative that fits very well with what you've seen in the previous sessions. Because it shows you what is coming up next into the future. So I'll be sharing a few slides with you. This initiative is a collaboration between the University of Cambridge, Costain, which is a major contractor in the UK, National Highways, which is the main highways agency for England, the Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, the European Commission, and hopefully many other partners joining us in the future. This is something that started honestly well over 10 years ago when we started working with National Highways and Costain in the creation of other R&D efforts, such as the Center for Smart Infrastructure and Construction, Phase 1 and 2, our Future Infrastructure and the Built Environment Centers for Doctoral Training, Phase 1 and 2, as well as a program grant on resilient materials for life. What we've discovered with all of these projects is that we needed a mechanism by which we can do more concentrated research work, something that goes beyond what you can do with just a PhD student and has the ability to take the outcomes of multiple individuals into one greater effort. This is what Digital Roads for the Future is all about. It's actually an initiative that's supported by two grants. One is called Digital Roads and the other one's called Future Roads. Both of them are focused on expressways with a combined budget of 14.5 million and sponsored by the organizations I mentioned a moment ago, led by myself, Tim Embley from Costain and Phil Proctor from Highways England, and staffed with 4 program managers and 48 researchers. The motivation behind this whole initiative, aside from what I mentioned before on integrating research outcomes, is that specifically for roads, we have quite a dire situation, not only in the UK, but worldwide. Roads are, in fact, cost-effective compared, for example, to rail, to both build and expand. In the UK, the costs are 10 to 15 million per mile, whereas rail can go anywhere from 50 to 400 million per mile, for example, HS2 and other cases like that. Unsurprisingly, we have nearly 250,000 miles of motorways and A roads in the UK that carry about 80% of all passenger miles and domestic freight, which shows that that is what people are choosing as their preferred mode of transport. Roads are also responsible for unavoidably 70% of all transport emissions, given how much they're used, which is in fact highest of all the UK industries. Now, roads are definitely increasingly safer compared to 10 or 20 years ago, but they're still responsible for nearly 2,000 deaths and 25,000 injuries just in 1 year, just in the UK. So there's still plenty of room for improvement on the side of safety as well. Now, again, within the UK scope, motorways and A roads are about 13% of the network's total length, but they carry 66% of the total network traffic and receive only 15% of the public expenditure on all transport modes. I mean, that clearly shows the lack of investment there when you have such a very important asset carrying so much traffic and yet being receiving such a small investment, which as a result, because this is a chronic lack of investment, it leads to annual traffic delay increases that cost the economy about 4.3 billion labor hours per year. I think these numbers are staggering, and they highlight the importance of efficient road network expansion, maintenance, and repair. The fact that we need to carry interventions well before things are really in a dire condition, and so that we have the ability to easily correct them at a much lower cost, and without increasing greenhouse gas emissions and accident rates because of having more serious interventions later on. The structural decline of roads is usually caused by insufficient cyclical maintenance of the roads. As we said, we don't have enough money to keep them in shape. The climate change impact, of course, and the increased traffic volumes, particularly on all of the local roads. Speaking of local roads, the annual carriageway maintenance budget shortfall per authority in the UK, per local authority, is about 4.1 million. We have hundreds of authorities in the UK, all of them unable to maintain their assets. And on top of that, repair and maintenance road closures cost in the UK about £26 million a year. I think that highlights the value and the importance of doing something to bring roads back into the 21st century as an important asset, an important part of the mix of the transport assets we have, and find a way to make them sustainable, find a way to make them digital, find a way to make them easily maintainable and safer. Roads today are made with many layers of inert materials, documented and monitored poorly, very far from being sustainable, generally maintained reactively and serving no additional functionality. Road authorities across the world want to tackle this challenge by upgrading their road networks. In the UK's, that would be primarily the A roads into what we call expressways by 2040. But authorities lack up-to-date data and the digital processes and automations necessary to leverage the types of advances that we need to get to a state of a very good expressway. This is what the Digital Roads of the Future initiative is trying to solve. Our vision is to go away from file-based road management into a system whereby we're looking at the physical and the digital aspect together and the product and process aspects of the road together. And for example, in the physical product component, looking at those inert materials and converting them to smart materials, aware of their state and properties, assisting their maintainers and users through materials able for self-sensing, self-healing, such as nanomaterials, flexible electronics, and others. In the area of the physical process, to use automation and robotics advances to automate all routine inspection and all routine maintenance. This is possible, we can do it. Then we want to take the data coming from the smart materials through the robotics and onto the digital twins, where we want to integrate all of our data together through the right data structures, the right data generation and curation mechanisms on towards our journey for national digital twins. And having that type of data set, that can then enable us to do amazing data science to drive insight to inform design, construction, maintenance, and operation decisions, using simulations to make predictions, via monitoring key performance indicators, via learning processes automatically, and other tools. All of that must be underpinned by sustainability, decarbonizing the road network, reducing traffic, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, electrifying the network such that roads can in fact be compliant with autonomous vehicles and the rest of the 21st century. Within that network, we have a team of experts across Cambridge, Costain, and Highways England, focused on all of the areas you saw in the previous slide. And that team of experts is then supervising this team of researchers, from the principal research associates to senior research associates, to several postdoctoral fellows to PhD students. It's quite a large team, all of them working together towards that integrated whole. We want them to use these grants to create the foundation knowledge, which can then be commercialized through follow-up processes and additional grants, and can lead to either IP being commercialized internally within businesses or to startups and scale-ups as we move forward beyond the 5 years of this initial phase of the initiative. What we want to achieve beyond the first 5 years is to bring expressways up to technology readiness level 9 by 2031, so that it can actually be implemented throughout the country. Expand the same research to other road assets by 2036, and then to the entire highway network to achieve the vision of digital roads by 2041. And while we're doing that, we want to establish at Cambridge a center of excellence that brings together all interested parties in this journey who wish to compete in R&D and participate in achieving this vision. If you're interested in joining us, we have a mechanism by which, through the Future Roads Grant, you can sponsor fellowships at a reduced rate because of the European Commission contributing the rest of the funds. These fellowships are for 3 years for individuals who have a PhD degree, and they must then submit a proposal to us on any of the topics of topic areas of interest that we advertise as a consortium. We then evaluate those proposals and bring the ones who have chosen topics we're interested in and who have what it takes to complete those topics successfully. We hope that this will bring a lot of value to all parties involved, not only to Highways England and Costain, which are already involved, but everyone else who decides to join, in terms of additional revenue through new products, services, and markets, and through better products, services, and markets, through enabling further research and future products and services integration, through cost savings, using automation to achieve more for less, and of course, via the intangible benefits of the exposure of businesses to all the other businesses and to the research ecosystem, and the ability to provide thought leadership across the country and across the world. The costs for that are incredible because the Future Roads Grant allows us to bring the cost of fellowships down to 1/3 of the original value. This is what we call at Cambridge the pizza deal, buy one, get two free. And as a result of that, it allows companies to de-risk the research process by being able to do research at a much, much lower cost, and at the same time participate in the broader DRF initiative and see what all the other companies are doing and work with them to support fellowships. We welcome you in this journey and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.